today I want to show you one of my favorite and one of the most effective triceps exercises that you can do with a barbell. That is the overhead tricep extension, otherwise known as the French press. Now, this one is especially important, I feel, for powerlifters because a lot of the time, along with the bench pressing that powerlifters do, they do a lot of tricep push downs, normally with a band, really fast like this. However, they don't do much up here. Sure, maybe they do some overhead pressing, but nothing direct to stretch the long head of the triceps, which makes up a lot of the mass of the triceps, and to effectively work that head of the muscle. And hence, a lot of the time, these guys who don't do that movement, who don't do the overhead and incline movements, end up with mediocre triceps and mediocre bench presses. I'm going to start this movement off by getting the bar overhead. Now, that can sometimes be a little bit awkward on your own, so you can do this movement seated too and get a spot to pass you the bar above head. So first thing for me is squeezing my upper back together and squeezing my shoulders down. So shoulders back and down, and that will help you keep your elbows in throughout the movement. Another cue I like to use is try to point my elbows in front of me or the tops of my biceps behind me. That will help too. Lower for a count of 3, again, making sure that the elbows are kept as in as possible. Come all the way down to where you have a stretch and return to the fully extended position. So lowering for a count of 3, stretch, return to the extended position. I like to do these for repetitions of anywhere in between 10 and 15. I find that too low a repetition can be a little bit deleterious to the elbow joint, can make them feel a little bit sore. That's the last thing you want to do with your accessory movements. You can also do a slight variation of this movement, the incline tricep extension, which achieves a similar purpose, not quite as much stretch, but it adds the benefit of having a bench to add stability and also a little bit more safety in that it's easier for a spotter to get the bar up to you. Now, with this movement, you'll notice that I like to come behind my head rather than to my forehead or to my face. That's not just for safety purposes, that's because I find that doing so is much nicer on the elbow joints. And then extend straight back up. Again, the emphasis here is on keeping the elbows inward as possible and also coming down with a 3-second controlled eccentric, gaining as full as possible a stretch at the bottom.